Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is NXT. The road and the path to NXT TakeOver is almost closing in. We are so close to it now that you can almost feel it. We are in the penultimate NXT before that very event, and still here tonight. There is a lot going on. Almost every match has been finalized. Challenges have been put out there, and we'll see if they'll be accepted here tonight or not. But one thing is for certain is there are a lot of interesting things going on. Most specifically, these two things that you see. The first one here, Pete Dunne and Kurt Angle, one-on-one in a rematch from a few weeks ago for the Global Championship. These two guys were meeting a triple threat match at TakeOver Orlando, but here tonight, they go one-on-one. And speaking of TakeOver Orlando, the main event of that show meet face-to-face here tonight. Coren will call Tanahashi out to the ring to meet each other in that ring. Face-to-face, man-to-man. What will happen this close to NXT TakeOver? It is going to be a very, very interesting night here of NXT action, and we start things off with the number one contenders to the NXT Tag Team Championship. SAnitY are going to square off to start things off here on NXT against the duo of Gran Metalik and Cedric Alexander. Let's see how this one will go between these two men. Between these two teams, rather. It is the number one contenders out first as well, as they prepare to retaliate from what we saw last week from American Alpha. They victory. Sorry, no, it wasn't a victory, was it? They're looking to move on with their momentum from last week. After Eric Young, Killian Dane and Sawyer Fulton all took apart Jason Jordan in the ring, pummeled into him with a steel chair, and ruled that one-on-one match a no contest. SAnitY here tonight now, looking to get even closer to those tag team titles. And I notice as they head towards the ring, there is no Sawyer Fulton here with them. It is just Young and Dane. And I'm wondering if they left him backstage. Is there a reason why he's not here? I'm not too sure. SAnitY heading towards the ring here for their tag team match. And oh, there's the NXT Tag Team Champions! It's American Alpha! American Alpha applying the beatdown to Dane and Young as a measure of revenge for last week. NXT kicking things off sharpish. And American Alpha have got their hands on Eric Young, launching him, throwing him into the ring now. American Alpha beasting for revenge on SAnitY. They are now playing the games of the number one contenders. They have slipped to their edge. They have cracked, and they are showing it here tonight to Eric Young. Grand amplitude! And Gable and Jordan split up and get out of here before any of SAnitY can get back up to their feet, before anyone could help them out. Eric Young just got blasted by American Alpha, completely off guard. But what a way to kick off NXT, just like that. American Alpha have fired back for last week, and in some aspects fired back even greater. Grand amplitude to the leader of SAnitY, but I worry for them. If they resort to playing the games of SAnitY come TakeOver, they may well pay for it in an even greater fashion than they could ever envision, than they could ever manage. You slip to the games of SAnitY, and you could be losing a vital piece of the puzzle. That, of course, is the NXT Tag Team titles. We will find out at TakeOver what it is going to be between those two teams, but make no mistake about it. Right now, right here tonight on this episode of NXT, it sure is personal between both sides, and it sure just got very, very heated between both sides here. What a way to kick things off that indeed was, and we move on now to our next contest. Pete Dunne and Kurt Angle, one-on-one here. SAnitY were quick to get Eric Young out of the ring. Dane was up to his feet. Fulton stumbled out here to save him. My guess is that Fulton must have been blasted backstage by American Alpha, and Eric Young and Killian Dane were none the wiser. But with that being said, we must move on now. The shot has been fired, and we'll see what the rest of the war looks like over these next of the NXT and NXT TakeOver, of course. But Dunne and Angle here two men who are kind of the causation for why this triple threat match at TakeOver Orlando is happening. It was Dunne, of course, who fired the shots to Kurt Angle, blasted him from behind during his Global Championship matchup at TakeOver San Antonio, and showed that he wanted his hands on the belt. Pete Dunne has got his wish, as he will now square off against Kurt Angle. However, with the third party of the Big Show being added into this whole situation, it is not ideally what Dunne wanted, but it is what he has now. Here comes the man who, of course, heads in as champion. A man who has held that belt for some time now and has brought honor and pride to that belt. Brought honor and pride to what it means to be a champion. It is Kurt Angle who comes down that ramp here. Angle, of course, will be looking to bounce back from 2 weeks ago, I believe, when he was defeated by Big Show in one-on-one action. Non-title, of course, otherwise he would not be holding that belt right now here tonight on NXT. But Kurt Angle, nevertheless, is looking for a victory here to bounce back. Pete Dunne, of course, I think it was last week, lost to the Big Show as well. So right now, Big Show rolling high. Victory over champion and challenger. And it's safe to say that Big Show is the favorite heading in to TakeOver. But right now, it is about these two men. It is about Kurt Angle looking to get this win. It is about Pete Dunne looking to shut up all the people who think that he doesn't deserve to be going to NXT TakeOver. It is about animosity and bad blood between these two guys as well. Make no mistake about it, these two guys have their fair share of bad blood outside of the Big Show. That NXT Global Championship matchup at TakeOver could have easily been a one-on-one match. Make no mistake about it. We get things underway now with these two men, Angle and Dunne. Angle may try and force Pete Dunne to go with a wrestling matchup, and of course, being the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle will have his number there. Traps in the arm here in this armbar, and Pete Dunne using his nimble frame to slip out of it. And takes very little time in going after the eyes there, raking the eyes of Kurt Angle and using it to his advantage and hit that Saito suplex there. Big Show may not be here tonight, but he is certainly going to be watching very closely indeed to see what his opponents at TakeOver do. Where do they go? You know, where do they go? What do they do? Oh, what a forearm by Pete Dunne. Do they wear themselves out? Which is the last thing you want to do when you're in a matchup against the Big Show. These two men so far, I mean, there's been a little bit of wrestling, but now the strikes are coming out to play, just clubbing each other. Neither man truly able to gain an upper hand here. Dunne going to look for a power bomb, and he'll get it. Good Angle caught hard with that one, but he's getting up to his feet at a relatively quick pace. Pete Dunne, though, stays on the money. Went for a belly to belly, and oh, Angle returned the favor, raking the eyes as well. Look for some kind of suplex there. Might be thinking German. Dunne reversed it and catches the leg now for a Regalplex. Let's see what else happens here. On the second rope now goes Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight, looking to take another victory. This time, of course, over the NXT Global Champion. They squared off a few weeks ago for that title belt. Must have been over a month ago now that I think about it. And in that bout, there's no way of, saying it otherwise. Pete Dunne seemed to have it on the cusp. He seemed to be on the cusp of becoming NXT Global Champion, if not for the intervention of the Big Show. That is why we have this triple threat match here. The Sheriff of NXT, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the NXT General Manager decided it to be just that. They revealed it last week to kick off NXT, and now we continue going here tonight. Much as we saw, of course, on ECW with the face-off happening later on tonight, there'll only be 4 matches scheduled. Well, technically only 3 after the first match happened. Well, never happened now that I think about it. Just an attack from behind by American Alpha, but a desperation attack as well. Nevertheless, we'll gloss over that and focus back on this right now. Pete Dunne in position here with Kurt Angle up on his shoulders. Buckle bomb there by the bruiserweight. Great bit of strength. Takes a lot to pull off something like that. And Pete Dunne did it in a very strong fashion. So a man quite a bit stronger than him as well. Right in the chest there. And Pete Dunne is already in position. Dunne looking to secure a very quick win here over the global champion. The forearm in the face. Traps him in here. Nowhere for Angle to turn. The bitter end. Is it enough to beat Kurt Angle? Oh, Dunne was close. Make no mistake about it. I think the term I'm looking for there is close but no cigar. For Pete Dunne, and Kurt Angle now is firing back. German suplex, great bridge after it. But Dunne kicked out early. Angle is on the back foot here. The global champion needs to start swinging and swinging fast here. What a headbutt there by Pete Dunne that forces Angle to the outside. He hit him very hard indeed with that one. Oh, this is looking dangerous on the outside. Powerbomb by Dunne. And Pete Dunne now, all of a sudden, has the NXT Global Champions number. And on the outside here, it's very dangerous. It is very easy as well to perhaps get counted out. It may be what Pete Dunne wants to do before TakeOver. It may be his way to not get himself fatigued. Well, if he tried it, Angle got him back in the ring there, so that didn't work out how he wanted it to. Oh, he just launched him over his head there with that German suplex. Kurt Angle returns to the ring with a vengeance. Angle up high. Angle with the moonsault, of all things, to break out. Cover on Dunne, but he couldn't put him away. Kurt Angle, though, could be on the cusp of victory. Suplex floats over into that cover on Dunne here. Doesn't hook the legs, which allows Pete Dunne to kick out relatively easily. And I think Angle for a moment there is feeling the wrath of that powerbomb on the outside. Oh, an Angle now looking to embarrass Pete Dunne for all that he has achieved, for all that Pete Dunne has caused within the NXT Global Championship. The ankle lock is applied here. The ankle lock stitched in deep on Dunne. Will Dunne tap out? He can't get to the ropes. Angle has his legs trapped around Pete Dunne's, but Dunne just kicking away to escape that hold. Stumbling a little bit. German suplex though. Round right into it. Pete Dunne almost playing a little bit of possum there as well. Dunne now has him in position, looking for some kind of suplex maybe. Lifts him up. Angle with a hard knee. Angle, look at this. Angle slam! In the middle of the ring. 1, 2. Kurt Angle beats Pete Dunne and recovers something finally for himself. It has been a long time coming for Kurt Angle. He needed a win over one of the challengers before TakeOver, and he got it. He got it over Pete Dunne. And that means that while Kurt Angle celebrates his victory here, Dunne has lost to both challenger and champion. Is Big Show still the favorite, or is Kurt Angle showing that he is not scared of anyone, that he's firing back at all cylinders heading into TakeOver? It may be the case, but we're gonna have to cut Kurt Angle's celebrations here in NXT short. I'm being told we gotta go backstage right now. I'm being told we gotta go backstage because Tyler Bate is being attacked by Mike Kanellis. And we are backstage now, and the words were true. Kanellis has jumped Bate after last week. After costing him his match, after challenging him to a bout to TakeOver, Kanellis is responding here, clubbing away at Tyler Bate now. Sent him into that car. No, there's no need for this. Pile driver. That's a concrete floor. There's no padding, there's no protection, and now Mike Kanellis with a photo finish down onto that floor. Someone get some help out there. This is taking things too far. Not again. Not again. Mike, for crying out loud, have some courtesy. Stop this. Another photo finish onto that concrete flooring to Tyler Bate. He was scheduled to be in action up next. That's out of the window. Canellis walks away. His wife is coming towards the ring. This was a premeditated attack on Tyler Bate. This was planned ahead of time, and it's been acted out perfectly. This is sickening. Canellis fired the first shot. Bate retaliated. Bate wanted to challenge them. And now they resort to this. Absolutely horrific by these two. And Canellis, or Maria rather, is having a go at Bate essentially for trying to think that he had a chance of firing back, but there's the answer we were looking for. That's what we were looking for more importantly. They accept the challenge. At TakeOver, it is signed, sealed, and delivered. Tyler Bate and Mike Canellis, one-on-one. Much the same as No Way Jose and Big Cass, it is not about titles, it is about settling a grudge. Mike Canellis wants to prove that Bate is overrated. Bate just wants to shut him up. Certainly, Canellis shut him up here tonight. I hope Bate is going to be alright, because that was a rough move. That was tough to witness, but that's just how they do things. It's a shame to see something like that happening to a guy like Tyler Bate, but are we really surprised when it's Mike Canellis or someone along those lines doing it? Would we be surprised if a duo like this, a trio like this rather, should I say, did the same to a woman in NXT? I think not. Here comes Trifecta towards the ring. It is Tessa Blanchard and Jazzy Gabert here in action here tonight. Santana Garrett on the outside against Kairi Sane and a partner of her choosing. If she couldn't find a partner, she was going to be going alone in a handicap match. And here comes the NXT Women's Champion though. Blanchard and Sane are set to do battle at NXT TakeOver one-on-one for that Women's Championship here tonight. They work together, or they're on separate sides rather, should I say, working together with someone else to try and get the win. I have been told that Sane has found a tag team partner for this one, so it is going to be a tag team match. You see her head towards the ring there with that NXT Women's Championship. Could this be one of the last times she will hold that title around her waist? I certainly hope not. There's one thing that I want to see coming out of NXT TakeOver. It is Kairi Sane, still NXT Women's Champion. There's one belt that I definitely want to be retained. It is this one. Trifecta are just essentially the bullies of the NXT Women's division. They go after whoever they want, however they want, and they don't care about the repercussions. Kairi Sane trying to be the face of this division, trying to be the one to lead it into a brighter era. And yet every time she tries, someone is there to stop her. Be it the iconic duo or Trifecta, whoever it is, they don't want Sane on top. Well, make no mistake about it, Kairi Sane has been on top now for 4 months, and she is looking to stay there coming out of NXT TakeOver Orlando. Question is, who did Sane find as her tag partner? You know what? It was fitting. It's fitting that it is this woman. Because, for those unaware, it was this woman who was betrayed by Santana Garrett. It was this woman who was stabbed in the back by someone we all thought was going to be a great signing to NXT. It was this woman who was betrayed so that the woman she just ran past in Garrett, could join Trifecta. And now Ruby Riott can have a chance to get some revenge here tonight. She may not be able to get her hands on Santana Garrett, but the revenge can still be there for certain. Ruby Riott can shut up Trifecta and show that picking on her and trying to go after her was a bad idea, because now she has aligned herself with the NXT Women's Champion in this tag team matchup. It is a smart pick by Kairi Sane. Could have picked anyone else, to be fair. Could have picked even Toni Storm, but Riot is the one with blood in her veins and her blood boiling for the thought of getting revenge over these 3 women. And that's exactly what Sane did there. That wasn't cowarding out. That was allowing Ruby Riot to get her revenge, because you know Blanchard was the mastermind behind getting Garrett in Trifecta. And immediately, Ruby Riot wants her revenge. Stun gun there, and she hits hard on the outside, but there's no break here for Ruby Riot. She goes right after Tessa Blanchard here. Goes swinging right after her, but Blanchard responds there. Blanchard, of course, won an 8-woman battle royal to become the #1 contender, and Trifecta, as much as I hate to admit it, were owning that battle royal. The final 2 were Garrett and Blanchard. Blanchard, of course, ended up winning it, and now at NXT TakeOver, she faces Kairi Sane. She has had a number over her on a few occasions. But the last time those 2 women were face-to-face with each other, it was after Blanchard attacked and tried to tear apart Mickie James. If not for the saving of Kairi, if not for Kairi Sane saving her, I dare to think what would have happened. This count, meanwhile, is going up high now. We're up to 8 here, and Ruby Riot sweeps the leg away from Tessa Blanchard. We're up to 9. But Ruby Riot doesn't want it to end that way. She has got a long list of revenge that she wants to enact. And a count-out just will not do the job. Throws Blanchard into the turnbuckle, tag made. In comes the NXT Women's Champion now. And a preview to TakeOver is what we witness. Big time knee in the gut there. Chop, though, countered by Blanchard. Oh, spinning back suplex there, turned it into a facebuster essentially. Powerful move, and a tag made now. In comes the powerhouse, the alpha female that is Jazzy Garrett, who immediately strikes the NXT Women's Champion with that powerbomb. These 2 women squared off not too long ago. Threw everything they had at one another. It was Sane who walked out with the win, only just, and then became the victim of a post-match attack by Blanchard. Surprise, surprise. Counter there by Sane. Countered back, though, by Garrett. Garrett absolutely trounces over anyone in this women's division. Look at her speed. Look at her power there as she went for that. She got a little bit complacent, though, and the NXT Women's Champion fires back. Knee there. Didn't get all of it, but enough to knock down Jazzy Garrett. The NXT Women's Champion, though, can't afford to get into a big-time fight with this woman, or else potentially take a nasty injury this close to TakeOver. Tag made, Ruby Riot back in here. Double back body drop to the alpha female. And I wouldn't be surprised if Garrett's going to be in this ring for a long time, take a lot of punishment, and then allow Blanchard to pick apart the pieces like a crow. Garrett just launched herself at Sane there, essentially. It was like she was trying to knock her off that apron, knock her down to the outside there. And now she works away at Ruby Riot. Elbows now, kicks and stomps. All to this woman who was brutally betrayed. And look at Riot fight back there. Great counter. But Garrett does good to stop her right away and dumps her face first. The power that Jazzy Garrett possesses. It's destructive. Face first into that turnbuckle goes Garrett now, and into the ring pole as well. Ruby Riot still fighting back. Look at her power being demonstrated. Blanchard may not be too happy that this is what she is seeing. She probably wanted Garrett to destroy these 2 women. And it may start happening here. She follows through with that powerbomb all the way down. Ruby Riot's arm, though, underneath the ropes. And Riot now trying to get herself up to her feet here. She is trapped in the corner of Trifecta. She is in enemy territory, and she gets herself out of it pretty damn sharpish there. Ruby Riot now lifts herself up, and oh, face first into that turnbuckle goes Garrett. And now Riot stands in the way between Garrett and Blanchard, and he's going to look to hit here. The Riot kick in the face of Garrett. But that won't be enough to put her away. Tag made. In comes Kairi Sane now. The NXT Women's Champion wants to end this one here. She climbs to the top rope to seal the deal. Insane elbow. And the count. 1, 2. Oh, Garrett kicks out of both moves. And she's already getting up to her feet here. Tessa Blanchard on the outside now has slowly pulled herself up to her feet. And with all the punishment that Garrett's taken, if she can make the tag into Blanchard, they may well have exhausted their options here of these two women. But look at the strength being demonstrated by Kairi Sane now. As Riot drops in that leg, looking for the cover after it, looking to do anything to put away Garrett here, and she just can't. Riot now swinging away at Garrett, swinging everything she can at this huge woman. Gut-wrench powerbomb there. She stood up and she hit it as well. Almost as if it didn't even exhaust Garrett to execute a move like that, and the strength continues on with a deadlift powerbomb. But still, Garrett doesn't tag out. She continues in this one. I would have tagged out by now. Even if I was someone like Jazzy Garrett, I would have tagged out, got Blanchard in this matchup. Riot there, striking back. Collision between the two, and she keeps on going here. Drop kick to bring down Jazzy Garrett now. Has she got anything else left in her? Kick in the gut. Oh my god. Oh my god. The strength from Ruby Riot finally returning a powerbomb to Garrett. Count after it. There's 2. And oh, I don't know if Garrett kicked out or if Blanchard made the save there, but Blanchard and Sane got it on. Made the save. Riot kick though. Garrett looks down and maybe out. She ain't moving. Riot at the swab into that cover there. Blanchard ain't moving though. And it allows Ruby Riot to exact a measure of revenge. She pins Jazzy Garrett. And Kairi Sane in turn gets a win over her takeover opponent. But Riot gets to pin her right in front of Santana Garrett as well, just to rub it in even further. Happy days there for Ruby Riot, but Garrett took in a lot of punishment there, and Sane had to exert a lot, even though she couldn't get even though she wasn't the one who directly got the pinfall. What does this mean for TakeOver? Well, we will find out shortly, won't we? Because it is right around the corner, and you know that when those two meet, it's going to be a damn good matchup. But Riot there exacts her revenge. And since we're talking about damn good matchups, we might as well talk about this one. As great as it's going to be a takeover, tonight we get a preview of it. They stand face to face with one another, man to man. Coren asked for this, and he gets it. Tanahashi, Coren, face to face, to close out this episode of NXT. And here comes your NXT champion. As much as we hate to admit it, he is the man who is on the posters for NXT. He is the man who is the headline act whenever he is on a show. It is Coren. He gets set to defend his title here against Hiroshi Tanahashi just over a week from now. And I gotta imagine Coren, even though he loves to, he loves to think that he's doing just fine, he is not. I don't think he is fine in the head. I think last week demoralized the champion. He went from trying to attack Tanahashi after his victory to on the receiving end of the high fly flow to Tanahashi holding up his belt, and you see Coren does not want to wait around, much like Rollins on ECW. He demands that the ace come down towards the ring right now and face him. And surprise, surprise, Tanahashi is here right away. Here comes his challenger, the man who the last time these two men met in the ring stood tall at the end of it all. Here is the man who wants to become NXT champion, and who Coren, of course, picked as his next victim in his eyes. And we'll see if he is paying for that one or not yet. But one thing is for certain, Tanahashi has had the number of the NXT champion on more than one occasion. He has a microphone, but Tanahashi is not speaking. He stands there. He stares at Coren. And Coren believes that it shows fear. That Tanahashi fears the NXT champion. I believe it to be the complete opposite of that. He does not fear Coren. He is messing with Coren's mind. And again, Tanahashi stays silent. Does that mean that we have to listen to Coren more? Yes, sadly. And you see, it's the blame game now. Trying to inflict guilt, Coren is within Okada. Within Tanahashi even, for what happened to Okada. Claims that he killed Okada. And a takeover, Tanahashi dies with him. And the reaction is the same from the ace. Total silence. Coren still believes it to be fear, but Tanahashi does not seem to be fazed by the words of the NXT champion. He believes that Tanahashi will fade away after takeover, fade away silently, but the punishment will be loud enough for anyone to see. And Tanahashi remains silent. Coren has lost it. He is demanding the words from the ace. He is demanding Tanahashi to speak to him. I said it wasn't because he was scared, and I think I'm right. Tanahashi is standing there as Coren lambasts him, demanding that he speaks. And Tanahashi speaks. And promises that Coren falls at takeover. He carries the souls of those before into battle. And at takeover, he fights for them all. But this victory, and this, whatever this is for Okada. What did he mean by that? That is what he meant when he said it was for Okada. Tanahashi smashed the champion in the face with that microphone. They've gone flying out the ring, and now the battle is on between these two men. Going face to face was more than just about words, it seems. Are we surprised that the battle has begun here between these two? Swinging away at one another now. Here they go. They couldn't wait for NXT takeover, and it's that much of a surprise. Tanahashi sent flying over the top rope. Coren gonna come after him here. Referee in the ring, but I don't blame him for not wanting to split this one up. I wouldn't want to split these two up. Coren looking for something big on the outside here. Tanahashi able to fight back though. Punch his way out of that one. Tanahashi on the outside here. Even though this is the fair game, this is the fair grounds of the champion, he has him on the back foot again. He has him down on his arse again. Coren is in jeopardy here, and once again being embarrassed by Tanahashi. It is something we all want to see, but Coren denies it from happening. And he immediately goes under the apron there, finds an opening and resorts to desperation, resorts to a weapon, does Coren, and starts to lambast it into the head of Tanahashi. This is a sign of weakness. He knew his wrestling ability couldn't beat Tanahashi, so he got desperate and went for a weapon. Coren, though, is taking things too far now. Spear through that steel barricade. Tanahashi almost ending up in the first row there. Coren just dismantled his NXT takeover opponent. And for what? Because Tanahashi got the better of him. He played mind games and it worked, but Coren wants to be the one to stand tall. The act of desperation from this man. Clock strikes 12. Tanahashi ain't fighting back, but it was the weapon that changed everything. At takeover there are no weapons. Coren's got to fight Tanahashi with his own two fists, and right now he is still looking like the weaker of the two.